At this time last year, a torrential downpour slammed southern Alberta. And tonight, it's happening again. A lot of rain in a short period of time is causing some of the province's rivers and creeks to swell, flooding several communities and putting others at risk. The affected cities and towns are either under high alert or have declared a state of emergency, including Lethbridge, Claresholm, and Pincher Creek. Carolyn Dunn is near Pincher Creek and begins our coverage tonight. Carolyn.
Well, Wendy, here we go again. As you can see, the water levels at the Old Man Dam behind me are high and getting higher. Now, we're not talking about the same scale of flooding as we saw during last year's historic flooding here in southern Alberta. Still, many people are sort of holding their breath in anticipation of what may be coming. The Old Man River Dam is cantankerous as more and more water rushes through its spillway, and the spring rains feeding it seem unwilling to give it a rest. Area residents have already been warned to stay off rivers and tributaries. They're swollen, fast-running, and dangerous. Pincher Creek is up 2.5 meters and rising. Eerily similar to what happened here in 1995, a monster flood that put 3,000 people out of their homes.
I think there might be a little bit of worry in town. I know once you get flooded once, you never forget.
About 40 homeowners in Claresholm know that feeling well. James Smith watched the water rise past his furnace in minutes.
The first thing that happened was got my daughter packed and my wife, and they're out right now, and I was just gonna monitor here.
That's an hour-by-hour prospect as the forecast changes.
The concern right now is the rain. We need the rain to stop. Our infrastructure is very good here, but it's not keeping up at this time.
But the flooding is worst on the Belly River on the Blood Reserve. At least 100 homes have taken on water. Wilma Croce and 3 generations of her family had to get out.
By 7 o'clock, we were driving around. We don't know what was going to go on, so nobody phoned us or warned us what was going on.
They have no idea when they'll be able to go home.
Leave it up to the Creator to help us up there to stop this.
And stop it or not, Alberta Premier Dave Hancock says the province stands ready to take lessons learned from last year's flooding and apply it to this year's emergency response. Beyond that, people are just sort of waiting it out, Wendy.
Thanks, Carolyn. Carolyn Dunn near Pincher Creek tonight. So the storm isn't over yet, and CBC News meteorologist Johanna Wagstaff is tracking it for us in Vancouver. So what can southern Alberta expect, Johanna?
Well, Wendy, the rain continues to fall through the overnight fairly heavily. We still have rainfall warnings in place for another 20 to 80 millimeters for southwestern Alberta, and that's on top of over 200 millimeters that's already fallen in the past couple of days, all thanks to this big spinning low pressure system stuck in the upper atmosphere, eerily similar to the setup about this time last year, ushering in moisture all the way from the Gulf of Mexico. The big difference, though, the bullseye much farther to the south, Claresholm through Lethbridge, basically areas along the Old Man River tributary. So watching for overland flooding and rivers to continue to rise in the next 24 hours. The good news, that rain will track east as we head into Thursday evening. Very much an active situation tonight, though, Wendy.
Thanks so much, Johanna.
You're welcome.
Johanna Wagstaff.